the very first video, weirdly enough, I played this stupid game and some hacker like killed my base when I was 11, and so I uploaded it, and my first video got 20,000 views like instantly, because it was like all the people that played the game was like, oh shit, you can hack in this game. It's a game called Battle Pirates. I guarantee you no one listening.
What is it called?
Battle Pirates. No one here has ever heard of it. Battle Pirates. It was,
Battle Pirates.
Yeah, it was a really small game, but I uploaded that and I got 20,000 views, and that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because then I was hooked from day one. Literally, like most people, it takes hundreds of videos before you get like one view, and somehow the very first video I uploaded at 11 got like 20,000 views, and then I was just like, oh, I fell in love, and I've been hooked ever since. Most of my growth came actually after I graduated high school. Basically what I did was I somehow found these other like 4 lunatics. Three of us were college dropouts, one was a high school dropout, and one, I don't know, he just like quit his job. We were all super small YouTubers, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And we would just call it like daily masterminds. We would just get on Skype every morning, and like some days like I'd get on Skype at 7 a.m. and I'd be in the call until like 10 p.m. and then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up and I'd do it again. And we'd do things like just take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views it got, or like like videos that get over 10 million views, it's like how often do they cut the camera angles, or like things like that.
Really? So you micro-analyzed
everything.
Really?
Yeah, just for like, we were very religious about it, and so that's where most of my knowledge came from.
One of the things that I was really impressed by when I started looking into you after my daughter introduced me is that you invest so much money into the show.
All the money I make, I don't. Why do I need money?
So you don't like go crazy? You don't have a Ferrari or anything nuts?
No. I think living your life chasing like a nicer car and a bigger and bigger box to live in is kind of like a dumb way to go about life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually, funny enough, I lived in like a super below average home, and I kind of learned why famous people don't live in below average homes, because someone broke in, stole everything I owned. So I had to get a little nicer house for security reasons. But before I was robbed, I mean, like my place is like a little duplex, $700 a month. You get a roommate, it's $360 split.
Right.
Yeah, and just drive a normal car. Well, now I drive a Tesla just because of getting off of gas and stuff like that. Right. But yeah.
So you don't go crazy at all with cash?
No.
You don't?
I really try not to. I think that's like just a bad way to go about life. I've always reinvested back in the channel. Sometimes I run out of money and I have to take a loan.
Really?
Yeah.
But you've taken a loan?
Multiple times. Yeah.
But you're making astounding amounts of money.
Yeah, but hypothetically, if like you do a brand deal and a brand owes you $500,000, sometimes they don't pay for 4 months. Well, I already spent that $500,000 when I gave it away in that video. So it's like, there's never been a point where I'm like negative. Technically, money's inbound, but sometimes you just have to wait. But I got to keep going and keep filming.
Wow, it's very unusual that someone would spend that much money reinvesting in the show.
Yeah, which ironically is why we made more money last year than any other YouTuber on the platform. Because I would bring someone in a video and they'd win something and they'd just freeze up and they'd do nothing. They'd just be like, oh, thanks. And then all the comments are like, no one just says, oh, thanks when you win $100,000. This is fake. Mr. Beast is fake. All this is fake. And I'm like, no, it's real. The fact that he's acting like that shows it's real. But like the masses don't understand that. So I have to be like very like strategic on how I pick people, or everyone's just like, oh, this is fake. They didn't react.
So how do you pick people? Do you have an audition? Do you have a conversation with them? Do you meet them?
I literally just hired a casting director, and usually we just like get large amounts of people. They filter through, and we're just looking for like people. Do they need it? Like, do they actually need this help? Would it benefit their life? Obviously they can't be super rich. And then also, it's literally just like, put a camera in front of them and do they freeze up? That's it. I just can't have people like freezing up, because then it just like I don't know, it's just not content, and I can't just pause the show and like explain like, oh, they're not talking right now.
Why Mr. Beast? Where's that name come
from? Xbox Live, like Xbox. Yes. Yeah, it just when I was like 11, it was just like it randomized, and it was like Mr. Beast 6000, and so my username used to be Mr. Beast 6000, and then on Xbox, and then that's what I used on my YouTube channel. And then when I was like 14 or 15, I was like, why the fuck is there a 6000 in this? And but I was like, fuck, like I always get like 100 views a video, but I was like, fuck, it's part of my brand. 100 views a video brand, whatever the fuck that is. Like, I don't know. And I had like this, I removed the 6,000, then I put it back, and I just like every month I'd add it back and remove it, but then I'd drop the 6,000, and it was just Mr. Beast. Chris, one of the guys in the videos, he's my first subscriber. He's been my friend. It's not like I went to LA and hired some actor. He's been day one. And then the other guy, Carl, he was my editor that Chris literally just became friends with. And Chris was like, I don't want to film unless Carl's around. I was like, well, fuck. All right, Carl, you're part of the team. and Chandler, the other guy, was my janitor. And we had him in a video because someone like backed out or something. So we were like, fuck, you're here, just go in. And then he said one line like, it was a challenge where they couldn't leave a circle. Or last leave circle wins 10 grand. And he asked at one point, he's like, can I throw my poop at the other contestants to get them out? And I was like, no. But people thought that was the funniest thing ever, that he would think about throwing his poop. And everyone's like, we want the poop guy back. And so my janitor ended up just, and then he also became really good friends with Chris as well in that video. And so now my janitor is one of our people. And so it's like, we're all just friends. And it's not like, it's not like we're hand selecting actors from LA or New York. It's literally just like, just random guys from North Carolina that get along well. If you don't find what you love, you're going to quit before you get to that point. You genuinely have to find what you love. If you get any takeaway, sorry, it's like a habit to look at the camera. So sometimes,
go ahead, look at the camera.
Yeah, like you have to find what you love. Because if you find what you love and you obsess over day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year for a decade, you're going to achieve some form of success. But if you don't truly love it, you're going to quit way before you get like that compound growth and you really get ultra levels of success. So in my opinion, the easiest way to be successful is just find something you truly love. And yeah.
Wise words from Mr. Beast.
So these channels, like this channel specifically, doesn't cost a lot of money to run. So this is like, mostly just pure profit, which is what I ran into is like my main channel, because I kept taking the videos bigger and bigger and bigger. There did get a point where they weren't really profitable. Like I was losing money every video. So I started this other channel so they would make money, so I could lose money on my main channel, if that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah. So like the gaming channel, like.
So the stuff like the Squid Games, it's so cost prohibitive. It's like,
yeah, well, that one, because it's getting so many views, might break even. But yeah, other videos like buying that private island and giving it away and terraforming it, like, yeah, fuck no. That was a big
you lose money on that.
Yeah, a lot of videos. Like we did a video where we like sold houses for $1, right? And and the thing, usually it's like I think things are going to cost less than they do, but like it ended up costing over $1 million and it probably only made like 600 grand. So like that was like a $400,000 L, and I take L's like that all the time, but that's why I have these other things to like, so I can afford to. So I don't really care if a main channel video makes money or not. She forced me to go to community college, and that was the worst thing ever. Like that made me hate life. Like borderline suicidal. I just can't stand like having to just sit there and listen to this dumb stuff and listen to some teacher read out a book. So what I did was I would act like I was going to community college, but I would just work on videos in my car and edit and stuff like that. I had straight zeros. And so now the clock had started because once my mom found out, I was screwed.
Were you aware of that? Like that you're running a risk?
Yeah, exactly. And so I would act like I was going to college that whole time, but I wasn't. And I didn't have enough money to move out. And that was kind of when I was just like 15 hours a day, all in. I was like, I'm fucked if this doesn't work. And I had some videos pop off. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I had a month where I made 20 grand because I just had some videos just do really, really well. And then I came home and I was like, yeah, I haven't been going to college, and I moved out the next day. My mom almost had a heart attack because she doesn't understand YouTube or anything back then. And she was like, man, this guy's gonna work at McDonald's. Did you see that Squid Game video?
I saw part of it, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. That was the most expensive thing we've ever done.
How much did it cost?
A little over $4 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because we had CG, we recreated all the sets. It's like, and the thing is, like, there's not really room for error. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
this shit has to work, and so, like, engineering, like the glass bridge, we legit had to build the glass bridge where we drop them and safety and all that stuff. Like this originally was supposed to cost $2 million, but as we're going through it, it's like, oh fuck, now it's 2.5. Oh fuck, it's 3. And I was like, okay, you can't get any more than 3 million. And next thing you know, like you actualize the budget afterwards, it's like fucking $4 million. Basically like 3 or 4 warehouses just filled with like these crazy like sets, and all this stuff has to move concurrently. Yeah, I mean, it's hard without the visuals to even begin to explain it. In, like the middle of North Carolina in a small town, I had like horrible acne. I'm especially back then, really awkward. It's like no one, like people would have bet $1 million that I wouldn't be a YouTuber. You know, it makes no sense. But I just like, I have, hyper obsession and I love this. And, you give it enough time, anyone can solve it.
There's a lesson in that for people, really. Like to just, if you do have a hyper obsession to something, there's a lot of people that think that because they're bad at school or because they're not interested in school, that they're destined to be a loser.
Yeah.
And that's not true. You get this thought in your head like, oh my God, I'm going to be a loser. I mean, that's how I was when I was in high school. I thought I was going to be a loser.